How do you start these things? I feel like I've watched enough YouTube videos to be able to start these, but anyway, here we go. Hi, hello, welcome. My name is Erin. I am new to YouTube, so today I am going to be doing the Booktube Newbie challenge. I've seen a couple of people do this just as their introduction to YouTube. I thought it would be super fun. Give it a try. It's 10 questions. Run through those, give my answers. Let's just jump into this because these are awkward and I don't know how people do intros. But okay, here we go. Number 1. I looked over and I didn't even read it. Number 1, why did you start this channel? So I started this channel because I like books. So I have really gotten into the Booktube community, you know, in the past year or two. Funny how it kind of lines up with a global pandemic. I have gotten into watching a bunch of YouTube channels, following people on Patreon, getting into some book clubs, and I just thought, why not throw my face up on screen too? So that's why I'm starting this channel, just for a good time. Number 2, what are some fun and unique things that you could bring to Booktube? Absolutely nothing. I am a fraud. I should not be here, but if I had to take a gander as to what I feel like I could bring to Booktube, just some giggles, to be honest, just some laughs, some chats. That's pretty much it. I'm just here, you know, trying to keep up with the Joneses, here for a good time. Maybe not a long time, but a good time. Moving on, number 3. What are you most excited for about this channel? Honestly, I just cannot wait to make friends. Just being able to have a group of people who want to chat about books as much as I do, I think that that is super exciting. I already have met so many great people, true gems in the Booktube world that I love interacting with. I love getting to know new people, and I love talking about books. So I'm just super excited to get this up and going, start talking to people, having some chats. So just meeting new people, talking about books, hopefully maybe learning a little bit more about like anticipated releases, getting more familiar with new authors, debut authors, and yeah, just kind of maybe even expanding my reading genres, getting to know new books, things like that. Just hoping that I can talk to people about books. Let's see, number 4, why do you love reading? I like to read because I don't like to be here. You know, like reading, you go elsewhere. I mean, who likes to be here, especially in this day and age. I love fantasy books. I love being able to just pick up a book and go someplace else. I wouldn't trade it. Like, I don't want to swap. I don't want to be in their world, mainly due to, you know, all the killing. But I love just being able to go to a new realm, a new cosmere, a new atmosphere, and just being able to escape from reality, present world, and just here for a good time, you know? Just that's what I really love about reading. Probably have always been that way. Number 5. Let's see here. What book or series got you into reading? I mean, I see you, all my Twilight people. I mean, I am a 90s baby, so like, of course, that's what we read when we were in high school. But that's probably not what actually is the book or series that got me into reading. I remember being a super cool middle schooler and Series of Unfortunate Events. I love Lemony Snicket so much. That was the first series that I really got into. I know it's Series of Unfortunate Events, but those books really are really stinking good time. Nothing good happens. If you've read it, if you know, you know. But just, it's a good ride. It's a good, fun ride. Twists and turns, thrills. I mean, just right. It was just perfect for the age that I was at when I picked those up. I remember waiting for the next one to be published. I think I started and there was probably 5 or 6 books out, and I just remember being like, oh my gosh, I have to get the next one immediately when it comes out. I remember my dad like taking me to the bookstore to get it. So me and my sister, we love those books. That's really what got me into reading. Series of Unfortunate Events, Lemony Snicket. Yeah. Number 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I mean, honestly, I feel like just like the tips and tricks of the trade, you know, how'd you get into it? What type of equipment do you use? What type of editing software? I mean, just really trying to, I'm not trying to mooch. I'm not trying to be them. I want to bring my own creativity. I want to bring my own unique aspect. But as far as like learning how to do stuff, like it's actually kind of hard. Like I won't lie, I've filmed this 6 times. I don't know what I'm doing. I would love to just pick their brain on like, how do you do like the cute little graphics? Like, how do you make your own like this, that, and the other? And I'd love to just chat with them about that. I mean, and then also just be friends with them, to be honest. Like they're such great people. I'm obsessed with them. I'm obsessed with it. What can I say? I'm obsessed with it. Yeah, that's probably what I would ask them. Let's see. The next question. Let's see, what are we on? Number 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? And I think for me, because I take everything personally, even though I shouldn't, probably just like negative comments. I know it's going to be there. Some people just don't have anything better to do than to sit and troll and leave mean comments. I've seen other booktubers who I love and enjoy. I've seen them go through it. So I think that that is a challenge to overcome. I mean, as well as like the normal stuff that you would think of, like gaining subscribers, putting out new content, being creative. Like I feel like you could definitely get into a slump of just making sure that you're being original and not just putting out the same stuff over and over again, because people kind of get bored of that. So I feel like there's definitely challenges, but I think that just dealing with people who are hateful, I mean, nobody likes those people, but like, yeah, dealing with hateful people, I feel like that's probably the biggest challenge. At least that's what I assume the biggest challenge is. So if there's something else out there that, you know, you want to give me a heads up? Let me know. Number 8. When did you start reading? I feel like I've always read. I went to private school, so we always had like a chunky like summer reading list that we had to get through like as we were entering in the next grade. Hated reading during that. Just, oh my gosh, there's some madness here with the cats. No, hefty summer reading lists. I had to read, so I've always read. I mean, I remember my mom reading to me as a kid too. I mean, nothing cool and fancy or fun like Harry Potter, but I do remember my mom reading me. But I think when I really got into reading for fun, like as a hobby, I would say probably once I got out of college. I do remember reading while I was in college, you know, Hunger Games was kind of out like right as I was leaving high school, like getting into college. So that like I definitely read those books. I definitely reread Twilight in anticipation for like all the movies because I was obsessed. But yeah, and I also definitely remember reading all 3 of the 50 Shades of Grey books when they came out. So I did read a little bit in college, but I mean, as anybody who's gone to university before can attest to, there's a lot of just required reading of textbooks and manuscripts and journal entries and newspaper articles and magazine articles. I'm a business major, so we definitely had to read like all of those types of things. History classes, you're just reading and reading and reading. So I feel like it kind of takes the pleasure out of reading it takes the fun out of the fun of reading. So when I actually really, 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 truly became passionate about reading and started, you know, hoarding books like they were gonna all go up in flames and there wasn't a such thing as a library, was after I graduated from college. When I moved into my first apartment, I just remember sitting in my empty apartment with like myself and my cat and a couch, you know, like 1 seat, a pot, and a television. And I was like, well, how do people decorate their apartments? Like, how do you decorate? Like, what do you put on these shelves? Like, certainly not a plant because I do not have a green thumb. And I was like, ding, 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 books. So at that point in time, I had just met my very best friend, and I don't know what you guys would do on like a Saturday, but we would go to Barnes and Noble and we would like spend the whole afternoon there just like bopping around looking at new books. So I'd start picking up stuff that was like interesting here and there. And we would do that like all the time. And I really just got into reading books. I mean, the rest is history, honest, man. Like you start picking up books and you're reading this and you're reading that and whatever. And then you kind of find out what you want and what you like. And then it's over. It's done. So that was kind of that was a very long-winded to say I got into reading after I graduated from college when I was living on my own. Why couldn't you just say that, Erin? Number 9, where do you read? I will read pretty much anywhere. So right now I'm in my beanbag chair in the living room behind my bookshelf. So I sit here and read. I will sit on my couch here and read, especially if my fiance is like playing video games or like watching something I'm not interested in, but I want to like be together. Like I will read. I have a little book nook in my office, so I'll read in there. I think my favorite place to read is in bed. Best place to read a book. But really, I'll read wherever. In the car is the only place that I can't physically read just because I get very motion sick. Like I can't even play video games. It makes me ooh. So audiobooks in the car. Other than that, I mean, I'll pretty much read wherever. I feel like I always pretty much have a book on me. I'll even read like at a party if I'm not having a good time. It's the kind of cool person that I am. Anyway, down to the very last questions. What kind of books do you read? So I am primarily a fantasy reader. I think that is kind of my main focus for 2022. I really want to get into like adult epic fantasy. I feel like I've been in like the YA fantasy and like dabbled in adult fantasy and like epic fantasy with a couple of Brandon Sanderson books and trilogies, but I really want to kind of get into more of that genre. But really, I'm not discriminatory against any other genres. I love fantasy, I love horrors, I love mysteries, I love thrillers. I want to get into more poetry and nonfic, like memoirs and autobiographies, things like that I really just haven't picked up before, so I don't really know if I would like them or not, as far as the poetry and the nonfiction goes. The other stuff I definitely know that I like. But really the only thing that I don't like, and I feel like a lot of people are just going to be like, is I really don't like contemporary. We just don't get along. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like I don't know. I haven't clicked with it. Now, even I can drill that down a little bit further. I'm not the biggest fan specifically of contemporary romance. But I'd love to hear your recommendations. I always give it the good old college try. I always pick up a couple of contemporary books that have been recommended or contemporary romance books that have been recommended. I always give it a try, but I always end up finding that it's like a solid 2 to 3 stars for me. It's like, okay, like I liked it. But was I there for it? No, absolutely not. So leave me a rec if you have a recommendation where you're like, this book was just the best and it's contemporary. I'll give it a try. I will. Definitely will. Leave it in the comments. But if I don't like it, don't hate me for it. Like, don't come for me, because I did give you fair warning that I'm not a contemporary reader. That is it for the Booktube Newbie challenge. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's all I have. So if you made it this far, thank you. I know it's I get a little chatty. I know I'm a chitty chatty person. But anyway, if you made it this far, thank you so much. I am excited to get this channel started. I'm excited to meet all of you and interact with all of you, and just really, let's talk about books. So like I said before, any recommendations for those contemporary and contemporary romance, put those in the comments. Next month, I'm gonna have my life a little bit more together. This is the end of the video. If you made it this far and you liked it and you chuckled, if you laughed one time, even just rolled your eyes maybe once or twice, I would love it if you liked this video. If you would like to see more videos that I put out in the future, go ahead and subscribe, hit the little bell so you know when something else comes out. But anyway, that is it for today, guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye.